Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Well, my goodness. It's
We're back.
We're alive once again.
We had that one podcast which Jared valiantly, let's say, uploaded from Dancing Goats Espresso after his shift just to fill the content drought a bit. Dude. Because we took a little break. I feel like it was warranted. I feel like it was all right.
Sometimes whether it's like forced or like chosen, sometimes it is needed, like whether you need to read it or not.
This one was a bit forced, but circumstances aligned with other shit, we're figuring it out. We're back hopefully now though. The internet is restored.
Yeah, exactly. Internet has arrived finally at the fucking new casa, man. Jeez.
Took long enough.
That was such a pain in the butt. And like the dude that came over today from Century Stink, he had the most epic fucking mullet I've ever seen. It was like
they're back, man.
Yeah, dude. He had like shoulder length gray hair just cut. Like it looked like it was a freshly cut into a mullet. And and it looked like he how there used to be that style with like Jerry curls and they would look super greasy. It looked like he had just greased up his fucking mullet. You know what I mean? It was epic. Dude's name was Jay, and he was here for like 15 minutes installing the fucking thing, and then he was done. And I was like, this is all it took. I was like, this is all it fucking took. I was like, I'm a fucking drowning over here.
I can't tell you how happy it's made me that I got one. I'm on Comcast because we're all fucking price gouged for the local internet.
Yeah, you're sucking at the teat of one of two companies, basically. Yeah,
both of which can up their prices.
It's fucking crazy.
But they at least gave me. I had to have some weird dude come over and install it once a few places ago, and I've just been able to take the same modem. It's not out of date. My internet's not slow.
It just keeps working.
I don't need to deal with the greasy mullet to come by and fucking put in my internet.
Yeah. I mean,
the little twisty plug? That's all I need, man. Give me the twisty plug.
Just give me the fucking plug in. That was, and that was the thing. That I'm just grateful it's done. I already hit up literally everybody. I texted the council today. I texted Fitzy for the Whack Arnold's brothers. I hit you up, and I was just like, everybody, I was like, internet's back. Let's fucking get back on recording. So,
oh man, I'm excited to get back in the groove again. It's been a minute, and I feel like it's something I always look forward to. And Matinee Edition 105. This is to you, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Shout outs to the mullet man, Jay. This one's for you, buddy.
This is for Jay. Single-handedly bringing Old Heart Radio back.
Yeah, we would have nothing without
the
Jay.
Pads on our dying corpse.
Whenever we eventually 20 years down the road, when Old Heart Radio is still eking out bullshit podcasts, when we finally win our first award, we'll shout out Jay once again.
Keep his name in your
It's
mind.
A very bleak future if they thinking that we're recording for this long without actually getting anything out of it. That would be the night.
Here's the thing, if an award comes, hopefully it was financially stable long before then.
Yeah.
But
oh man,
what we got this week? We've got
a pretty good lineup of stuff, actually.
Absolutely.
Obviously there's a couple of things we have to talk about that in classic fashion I have missed.
Which there will be news. Listen till the end to see how Matinee Edition is changing for you, dear listener.
Exactly.
Stranger Things season 4 volume 2 released.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen it, but I can personally confirm that it's going to be hard for anything this year to top Stranger Things.
Ooh.
In terms of overall quality, and the fucking feels I felt in that last episode were insane. Dude, there was, I can't say much, but I was so taken aback at one point at the absolute size of the Duffer Brothers' testicles that I got lightheaded. I need to get up and have a glass of water because I was like on the brink of having like a panic attack.
You're like, thought it was heat, but no, it's just the fucking cojones.
It was so anxiety inducing that I genuinely became mentally unhealthy for a moment.
Oh my god, dude.
It was
fucking epic.
It was fucking crazy. I mean, like, we all sort of know what Stranger Things is at this point. Like, season 3 was really good, but it was more Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
And this season really sets it up for like a pretty epic finish, and I really enjoyed it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, to be fair, the only reason I haven't finished it is because Nadine's out of country, and I've diligently promised to not watch it until she comes back. So, I'm sacrificing my entertainment for love, I guess.
Dude, you're not. Here's the thing though, if you can avoid like hard spoilers and stuff, you'll have a good time.
It's so difficult right now. Like anytime I hop on something, like I see like anything related to Stranger Things or Eddie or anything, I'm just like, I just fucking scroll away. I'm like,
which I'm excited for you to watch it. We'll talk a bit more about theories and stuff, but I do have one thing. The final season of Stranger Things, actually 2 quick things about Stranger Things. The final season is going to be shorter, apparently. The Duffers confirmed this. Shorter, 2024 is the air date. 2 years.
Damn.
Also notable, they've officially started what is now Upside Down Productions.
Yeah, I heard about this.
They're going to be producing a Stranger Things spinoff and an animated Death Note show.
Yeah, dude, like that'll be really fucking interesting.
Which and what intrigues me is that Stranger Things was originally meant to be an anthology series. It was supposed to be over after that first season, but people loved it so much that they were just like, we'll continue the story. I think from what they said the new series is going to be 1,000% different from Stranger Things itself. And it's going to focus on a whole new cast of characters, which makes me think, is it sort of going to be like a MonsterVerse type thing from like hearkening back to the good old days of like old Hollywood, or just like every once in a while, like a werewolf would pop up in a Frankenstein movie?
Yeah, dude.
Where these things aren't tied, but it's like, oh yeah, this guy, we know somebody, and it's like Dr. Owens, shows up.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's not really any end game. There's not any coming together. It's just anthology.
Yeah. It's kind of like you could do, kind of what you did with like the MCU did early on with like Agent Coulson before they really knew like the whole build out that they were really doing. I think they were kind of just like, okay, we got to kind of loosely put everything like in the same world. So how do we do that? We just have like 1 or 2 players that every now and then bounce up and, into a movie and for like a couple of lines. And then it's like, okay, cool. So this is set in the same world that this dude exists in. So, but that would be really cool. I mean, cause they could totally do, like, think about like shows like American Horror Story. Like they could totally do like individual seasons with like a different cast of characters that like tell a different, a crazy fucking story. Like that would be awesome, honestly.
I could see just like in some other corner of the Stranger Things world, there being like some like aliens or some shit,
Definitely.
Like do like a really hammy like sci-fi, like golden age of Hollywood sci-fi, flying saucers and shit. Dude, sort of like what it looks like they're doing with Nope,
Oh, dude. Speaking of, I cannot wait to check that fucking movie out, man. Holy shit, that looks cool. Because that's it. Like you were just saying, it's like it almost reminds you of this like classic like alien invasion-esque story or whatever from what you've been able to see. And
it's been hammy.
Yeah, and so it's like it it kind of it just makes it more fun in a way. So yeah, that'd be really neat though, just to see what they do in terms of like a spinoff, because you know, by no means do I think they're beating the Stranger Things horse to death, but you can tell at times that it's like the storylines that they're creating for some of these characters are like they're stretching them out. You know what I mean? Like particularly Hopper at this point. I love Hopper as a character. Loved him since the first fucking episode. The first Old Heart Radio podcast was named after something he said, you know, like and but it's like, you know, at times like some of the things I've seen from this season, it's sort of like, is his storyline fully necessary in this way?
Well,
like,
I think they did a pretty great job of balancing the different weights of said storylines. Like that was the greatest thing about the super long season.
I think they like, in terms of including all the characters, they've done a good job of balancing them. But it's like, you know, at the tail end of season 3, like they could have easily just made Hopper fucking dead. And right. Like legitimately, and it would have also had like a lasting impact on the show. But it also, like, it feels like, you know, like the popularity of the characters and the people themselves like are like, you know, being accounted for in the writing process.
The Duffers, I have to give it to the Duffers. They were said like they were asked on a podcast the other day, like why, like what's the deal? Why don't you kill more main characters? You know, and they were like, we're in a post Game of Thrones world now. People expect you to want to kill off main characters that you've worked hard writing and creating meaningful characters. And he was like, this is Hawkins, not Westeros. We're not killing everyone willy-nilly.
And that's a good, that is a good point on like it, you know, that they're not there for the shock value of like, oh my God, this person I loved is dead now. But you know, like, I think at some points they're going to have to find ways of concluding some, you know, the story. Obviously they have a way of concluding the story, otherwise they wouldn't be going forward in the path they are. But
they also said the fifth season is going to have a Return of the King style ending,
which is, I don't know, I read that and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
me too. Dude, I was like, I mean, interesting, but where you going with this?
I was like, because immediately like you invoke that and it becomes this like grandiose, like huge fucking like ending tale, you know, or something. And I'm just like, where are they going? Like, I don't know. I'm excited either way.
I want to see all of the kids get imbued with 11's powers somehow. And you just get everybody force pushing shit around. And it becomes uncomprehendable. Like you're just there's no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Like it's just anything is fucking possible at this point.
But that said, I think like I think Stranger Things is fucking awesome. And if you told me that Stranger Things 4 would like genuinely surprise me with how good it was, I wouldn't have believed you, because like I really enjoyed Stranger Things, but I think I would always know what I was getting from it. In this case, I was like genuinely surprised at some points. I was more invested than I thought in a lot of the characters. And I think without killing anyone major, again, like that's not a hard spoiler. We all sort of expect that most of the characters to make through this. Most is a key word here. I'm not spoiling anything. Most of the characters make it through. Without having to resort to just like aimlessly killing and like having a red wedding. Like there are heavy fucking stakes imposed for the future.
Okay.
And for the end of this season. So, I mean, we already saw Max almost die. So
yeah, which is fucking intense. That whole
which is great.
Yeah.
Thrilling.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching it. You know, like I just I got to wait it out till next Wednesday at least. I guarantee you that is either like the thing we watch the afternoon Nadine gets, the evening Nadine gets back, or the day right afterward. You know,
4 hours of viewing.
Yeah, maybe she can't handle it. It's a long flight from Germany, but
fair. You know, on to another thing that you haven't watched.
Fair enough. Bring it on.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to catch it. Like I really am. It like, because it looks like a fun fucking movie. Like
this is one of, every once in a while, Kay and I watch a film that we are almost immediately not at odds, but we have strong disagreements about.
Okay, yeah.
I overall had a really good time watching it. Do I think it's the best Marvel movie in the world? Absolutely not. Is Thor Ragnarok better? Probably. Is it still a pretty good movie in the grand scheme of things? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do Gore the God Butcher really fucking well. That's the one thing me and Kate agree on, is that Gore is one of the best MCU villains, like full stop. Like sympathetic, menacing, really well portrayed. Christian Bale fucking kills it, and they do a great job with that character overall.
Is there longevity to the character? That's
I can't say that without spoiling anything.
Fair enough.
But all I can say is that it's very honest to goodness with the character itself, and it's just fun and it's effective.
Hell yeah!
Like he is menacing. He is Gore, the God Butcher. He's intimidating as all hell.
Okay.
Does it progress the MCU story forward? Yeah, absolutely. But like most of this Phase 4 stuff, it's really self-contained. You know,
yeah.
There's not much outwardly affecting the greater universe just yet.
Okay.
I think we're back to like Phase 1 style stuff, where it was all like you said a moment ago, Agent Coulson popping up in something here or there. Like we're yet to see the grand thing leading to said films, Young Avengers and Secret Wars, which we all know are inevitable.
Oh, dude, like that and like a Thunderbolts project, you know, like
Thunderbolts actually got properly greenlit.
That's what I mean. Like, so there are things coming up, and I think you're, yeah.
But I don't think like film to film, unless you're like us nerds and tuned with like the outer culture around this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, and you just like go and watch every movie and watch every show, but you're not necessarily like the social media circles that keep up to news like this.
Yeah.
The new grand tapestry hasn't come into form yet.
Yeah. And that's like, I think it's kind of leaving people like a little like, they're like, the hardcore MCU fans are like scratching their head, being like, where's this all going? Like
where's
I saw
the connectivity.
Fucking Rob from like Comics Explained. He like, I thought this was kind of a weird, post, but he like tweeted out at one point, I said, like, in my opinion, like all of Phase 4 is just filler content.
It's not.
And yeah, and I disagree with that. Like I do think that they're not as big of story arcs across multiple movies as they're used to with like the most recent phases. But you're right. I don't
think that this is a spoiler to say that there are huge implications that come from Zeus being in this film.
Interesting. Okay.
It's not a one and done.
Interesting.
It's not a one and done. Well, it's almost, and I won't confirm nor deny that I think this is the direction they're going, but like there very well could be like a Wrath of the Gods coming from this,
Yeah. Okay.
Like there could be. I don't know if that's the direction they want to go, because they obviously don't kill Zeus. They establish all these other pantheons of gods. It's like I could very well see like an Asgardians versus like Olympic pantheon type fight at some point. And it's like Hercules could be part of the grand equation.
We all know it, man. Henry's just waiting for the call to play that role.
oh God, never mind. I can't say it. You haven't heard anything, right?
No, I mean, I'm not.
Okay, good. Never mind.
About what?
You don't need nothing.
About like, are we talking about Hercules or are we talking about Henry Cavill?
Hercules.
Do they have somebody in mind for that role?
Oh, I know who it is.
Who is it?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh, fuck off. Okay, fine.
Don't look it up either. Because my jaw hit the floor, man.
Wait, okay, just to confirm, because this is, I mean, like, this is not that big. Is this in like this comes from the movie, or is this coming from like
post credits?
Oh, fuckers. Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's cool though.
I don't think it is a choice that I did not see coming.
Okay. Interesting.
But when you think of it, works really well.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'm excited to follow that train of thought up then.
I will tell you, it's not Henry Cavill.
Fair enough. I was interested, just random, like, obscure MCU rumor. Have you seen that like Taron Egerton has actually like sat down recently with Marvel?
Him and there was somebody else as well.
I would really be interested in seeing him as Wolverine. The more I think about
Gus Fring, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck is he gonna? Who is he gonna play?
Magneto.
Oh my god, dude! If he was Magneto, that'd be so fucking badass. Like that would
perfect.
he would be perfect as Magneto. Like that would be cool. That would be a fucking cool move,
really
man.
cool.
That would be a really cool move.
No,
Yeah.
I want to quickly, and this sort of goes the direction that we were talking about with like phase 4 not really having this like cohesive figure just yet.
Yeah.
I think in a few years when we see where this is all going, we'll see like, oh, like it's very significant that like the like the pauldron or whatever the fuck, the Bengal from Captain Marvel obviously has something to do with the 10 rings.
Oh yeah.
Or like it's what Gore was pursuing, which not gonna spoil what Gore, because my jaw hit the floor when you figured out Gore's plan. When what Gore's going after ties into all this other shit that's huge, and it's like there's stuff coming from this. It's just not woven together yet. We're seeing like the outer corners that are gonna only get built into something in the middle.
Okay.
When you build a puzzle, you got to figure out the outside first and work your way across. But I just want to say the reception of this movie sort of frustrates me because it has the second worst cinema score of any MCU film. And I think that's fucking ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Eternals, I'm not going to argue in favor of it having a better cinema score, because the more that I sat on that movie, the worse it got.
Yeah, fair.
Do I think that people unfairly hated on Eternals? Absolutely.
I think it was a victim of some of that like weird review bombing that keeps happening.
It was.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, like, yeah, it definitely was. But Thor: Love and Thunder, I guess the average for a Marvel film on cinema score is like an A-.
Oh shit. Okay.
And this is just, I think it's like a sort of like an aggregate of like positive to negative reviews. Thor: Love and Thunder is a B+. There's like one other movie that's a B+, and then Eternals is a B.
Well, it's like, certainly got to be better than Thor 2. I mean,
it is in like every way conceivable. It's like it's almost certainly better than the Incredible Hulk. Like,
yeah, okay, yeah, for sure.
I definitely think it's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think it's more fun than Doctor Strange.
Interesting.
And it's like, well, I don't think it's the best. It's definitely not the best movie of Phase 4. I like Shang-Chi more, I think. But
I was thinking about rewatching that movie recently because it is such a fucking good movie.
It's a good movie. And I don't think Thor: Love and Thunder is a bad film. I don't think it's the best MCU movie. I don't think it's the worst by any margin. So to see that people are like so weirdly upset blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like you people have been spoiled.
Well, that's exactly it, dude. It's like it's something we talk about with DC, I think, a lot. There's like, you know, this fandom that refuses to accept anything less than what they've built up in their fucking mind. And what they've built up in their mind gets so blown out of proportion sometimes because they're just, you know, there's so many rumors going around online. There's so many people being like, you know, speculating about these movies, these MCU movies particularly, that it's like, you know, like you just set up yourself for these crazy expectations. And then when you get something that's fun and entertaining and has a good story and it's, you know, that the actors are like fucking bringing in their performances and then you're still like, no, man, this is not what I expected. It doesn't mean it's a fucking bad movie. It means that your expectations were different than the fucking product. And that's, I don't know. I think
that's on you.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's on you.
I think
this is why reviewers are. Yeah, sometimes in a way, like I do think about that with myself, where like in the past, especially, like I've been, like more, I think like bullheaded about like, you know, particularly comic book properties where it's like, you know, they better not fuck this up. They better not, you know, like, or like, you know, and in reality, it's. So
I think in reality, it's like leave room for the adaptation. It's a different medium, right? Is that where you're
for
going?
Sure. Well, I mean, we've talked about that so many times, but it is something you have to let go of. But it's also like, I mean, it's becoming, because huge comic book movies have been around for a fucking decade now, you know, like it's becoming an expected experience to have like every movie be a fucking Thor Ragnarok or every movie be a Guardians of the Galaxy.
That said, this is closer to a Thor Ragnarok than a Thor the Dark World. So people need to pull their heads out of their ass.
Yeah, that's all that is, man. Fuck off with that shit.
And two things. I think when it comes to media like what we're making, keep listening to us, listeners. Please, for the love of God. But we like, I think you got to sip a bit of the poison. That's just the world we live in. You're going to hear people's thoughts, even if you disagree with them. You're going to hear people be critical of stuff, and that's fair.
Yeah.
I think there's so much shit. We hear so much about like, not everything's going to be the satisfying, definitely best film so far in Phase 4, No Way Home. Like, nothing's going to be like that satisfying of like a fucking beautiful, massive film.
Yeah.
An absolute morsel that like that movie is. It's not, Thor was never going to be that. Honestly, it's more of a rom-com. And I can totally see why people fucking hated that without like thinking that's what it was going to be.
Well, but again, though, that's a great point. Like, not every movie is going to be as big as like a Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. But like, the people it comes back to your point of like, people are just fucking spoiled right now, where it's like, you're still like looking past the fact that like No Way Home and Thor Love and Thunder and all these other movies in Phase 4, like they were all good movies, what I mean? Like
even Black Widow.
Yeah, to like varying degrees, they're all good movies, but like, go and watch Suicide Squad 2016 and tell me that anything in Phase 4 is worse than that. Dude, exactly. And so it's just like, dude,
and,
I don't know. It's just weird. Toxic fucking fandom always.
And also, they're not going away anytime soon. Made $300 million over the weekend.
Yeah, also, that shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Like, also, I gotta say, hit the mic.
Yeah, my bad.
I gotta give them props at Marvel. They've been doing very distinctive styles of their films and their projects lately.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Marvel has a very unique vibe. Falcon the Winter Soldier harkened back to the Winter Soldier-esque feel of a very espionage focus.
Yeah.
WandaVision was a riff on a bunch of sitcoms. Thor Love and Thunder is a rom-com. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which you finally watched, and this is definitely not a clever segue to, is a soft horror film,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're right. Like I did finally watch Doctor Strange too. And it is like, it definitely has like, compared to other MCU properties, it has more like horror shock moments than you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And which is really cool to see that they tried to plug that in. Obviously, like like anybody, I could say like, oh, it wasn't fucking brutal enough, but that's also, you have to take into context, like it's a fucking MCU movie. Like they're trying to brutality. And it does. The
VFX breakdown of them shattering Black Bolt's skull might be one of the most disgusting things I've watched in a minute.
It's a pretty cool like sequence. I was really surprised at how fast it happened. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
I think that's how they got around like being like, man, we can't make this rated R. It needs to be real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's got to be like a drawn out. And there's certain things like, you Wanda fucking up all the Ultron robots right before that interaction, in lieu of being like splattered with blood from killing a bunch of people. She's splattered like classic like blood splatter sort of patterns on somebody, but it's all like oiled and stuff like that or whatever. It's black, and so
we all know what it's supposed to evoke.
Exactly. And so it's really clever ways of kind of plugging in these horror elements. I think overall the movie was pretty cool. I think there were. I don't know. It wasn't as like, I'm going to be one of those people real quick. It wasn't as big of a movie as I thought it was going to be in a lot of ways.
I can understand that with Doctor Strange though.
Yeah.
Because it really looked like it was going to be huge.
Yeah. And like in terms of like exploring the multiverse, you know what I mean?
It's
like
3 universes.
Yeah, pretty much. You get that cool sequence where they go through all those different ones and you see like brief moments. Like one of them is supposed to be the Hydra universe, you know, where like Hydra 1 or whatever, and like, and so it's cool in theory, but they only explore like 3 real universes.
Yeah, I mean, like, but I think the thing that redeems that movie and makes it like not so thoroughly disappointing is that the time that they spend in every place is really like they do a good job making it all pretty cool, you know?
Yeah.
Like every set piece has a purpose. Every set piece is engaging in its own relatively unique way, you know? Whether it's Wanda killing the Illuminati or Doctor Strange having a music fight with himself, which
that was funny.
Are you aware of any of that stuff with what the idea behind that was? They're fighting. It's Mozart versus Bach.
Oh, okay.
One Doctor Strange is fighting with Mozart. The other one's playing a bunch of Bach music back at him.
That's funny. Okay.
It's a funny meta thing. Or like Zombie Strange fighting Wanda, which is not what I expected from the trailers. I thought that was like an evil Doctor Strange.
I definitely didn't expect that. That was kind of crazy, kind of wild. Like there were certain things like, you know, like the eradication of supposedly the eradication of the dark holds like throughout the multiverse or whatever. I was like, that like, I just didn't think that would happen. You know, I thought that gate would be like opened a little more in this movie, you know, like I didn't really like that. I wasn't looking for like a Wanda redemption arc by any, like, you know, near the end of the movie and they kind of like, you know, went that direction. I was really just hoping that they would just like continue to go down that path where it's like dark magic is fucking like seething out of her now, you know, and like it's like it's hitting the, you know, it's like affecting the world.
I think they're gonna go she's obviously not dead.
Well,
they're gonna go the route, I think, of putting her theoretically on ice for a bit, and then like in a few movies she's actually gonna be living out the quiet life like we thought she was at the beginning of Doctor Strange.
I bet we'll see a flip in a movie in the future where it'll be like Scarlet Witch has to confront Doctor Strange over some like corrupted magic that he's fucking using or something like that. You
third eye, man.
Well, exactly, because they leave you with that, you know, like he's going to the dark dimension to go talk to Dormammu and
with Clea.
Yeah, which was like
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, I mean that was cool. I was like, anytime they bring a big star into the MCU, to me, it's always like, you know, that constant worry of just don't waste this character on like you know, like don't like make it like a big deal that it's Charlize Theron playing this character and the character has like 5 lines in the next movie and then dies. You know what I mean? Like, that, I mean, that's what happened with the Illuminati, you know, where it was like, although it was a really cool sequence, it was like, you know, things like seeing John Krasinski as Reed Richards was, you know, something that people have been champing for so fucking long. And then it's like
great transition to our next subject.
I didn't even think, perfect. But like, you know, but then it's just, you know, it's gone in like in a handful of scenes. And
here's my thing with that. Is John Krasinski going to be Mr. Fantastic? Or has Kevin Feige sort of opened it up in recent days to him being sort of Mr. Fantastic, and then they're leaving it open for him to just be an alternate Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah, I mean, that would be like, I think that would be the smart move, is like, you know, I mean, like,
that's younger.
You know, he's just a member of the Council of Reeds, you know, like one of the many
that'd be funny.
One of the many ones across the multiverse. And because I mean, we have to, like, quite frankly, the MCU and Marvel, like, they really have to start, and they know this is why they're doing it. They're casting people in their 20s or 30s to play these roles because they can get more longevity out of the characters potentially
like
in that way.
You know?
Yeah, and which is smart. And so I feel like we'll see like a slightly younger Reed Richards in the future in the main MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That being said, like, I mean, it was really cool seeing Krasinski in that. Like, one of the things, you know, we wanted to talk about was the fact that, like, that came up from, like, that was like a crowdsourced casting, you know what I mean? Like the internet was like, we want Krasinski, like, he's fucking perfect for it. And what was cool was hearing Kevin Feige admit that, like, that was the reason why he sought Krasinski for that role. Yeah, you know, like, because like we've talked about it before, where it's like, you know, the MCU and Marvel, and like they do a really great job of paying service to their fans.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And it pays off in, billions of dollars back to them, and so
yeah, man.
like it was a cool moment. It was a really cool moment. But my favorite moment out of the Illuminati thing, just really quick side note, was definitely Patrick Stewart's Professor X, the yellow wheelchair. Dude, that was, as soon as that kicked in, I was like, oh, fucking game on. Oh, dude, yeah, it was so dope. And they even kind of did like the telepathic, like, woo, 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 like, dude, I was like, this is fucking rad. And, so that was super cool. And that's another one, like people have had a hard time letting go of Patrick Stewart as Professor X. So it was a really cool nod to the fans to be like, yeah, dude, like, let's find a way to include this version,
And we got to rip the Band-Aid off of this guy being gone. So, naturally, let's just snap his neck right in front of the audience.
Which, which honestly was a really, like, it was a crazy
zombie
moment.
Wanda.
Yeah, that moment was really cool. Because, I mean, like, yeah, it's just that, like, brief, like,
brutal.
Yeah, so I think, I think they're really doing a good, like, they continue to do a good job of like listening to their fans, and I think that that's a really important thing in terms of like what they're doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so and that being said, like, we've mentioned a couple of random things, like, we're like, I really hope that they find a role for Egerton. I really hope, like, I would be interested to see him as Wolverine. Like, that would be really cool, because
he's also, you know what intrigues me about him with Wolverine?
What?
He's the right height.
Well, exactly. Like, I think that's one of the things that, like, he's even acknowledged, where it's like there's this joking nature to it, where it's sort of just like, like, yeah, like, I'm the perfect height for it, so they got to cast me. But in reality, he's really good at physical stunts, and
yeah. We've seen from Kingsman.
Yeah, and like he's, I feel like he could fill out the yellow and blue suit, because that's what I want to see. I want to see a Wolverine in a yellow and blue.
Yellow brown, underrated.
I mean, yeah, it is a great costume, but that's actually a perfect segue into something that I forgot to mention that we needed to talk about. There's been some recent like news on the Echo show. Have you caught this?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Vincent
very
D'Onofrio
excited.
is back.
Yeah. And Matt Murdock's going to be in 3 episodes. So
did you hear why Matt Murdock is in the show?
No. Why is that?
He's hunting down Jessica Jones.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Jessica Jones is rumored to.
Well, I'm confident it's going to show up in She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, that's the rumor there, right? But the other part of that is that Daredevil's supposedly going to be rocking his not red and black, but black and red suit, which is awesome fucking suit. Cool, man. Like, I mean, mostly associated, I think, when he was like taken over by the Hand or whatever. But like, I would love to see just that suit anyway,
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
And so, yeah, that's really cool. Like, that they're both going to be featured in that show to some degree. But that's also like, they're building so much. Like, rumor has it that Kate Bishop is going to be showing up in a post-credits scene in a movie soon, and that most likely will be in the Ant-Man 3 post-credits scene, which will set up. I mean, it's got to set up Young Avengers, because they're introducing Cassie Lang as like a character, as like a hero character in that movie. So
yeah, and they recast the girl, and the girl's been showing off her like workout stuff. She's getting ripped.
That's cool. So like there's like all these cool, just really interesting things going on, which so much so that it's almost made me forget that Kit Harington's still playing the
Black Knight,
the Black Knights, and that's actually tied to Blade somehow.
on Ant-Man news, dude.
Yeah,
Ant-Man 3's we're doing test audiences right now.
Oh shit, that's cool.
And apparently it's been super well received.
That's dope. I mean, they're all pretty damn fun, like entertaining movies so far. But yeah, I heard MODOK's going to be a villain in the movie to some degree. Yeah,
MODOK and Kang.
Yeah, dude. Like, what a weird pairing of villains, though. Like, if you think about it, like, so I'm definitely intrigued by that movie though, because that's got to explore. I mean, it's going to explore the quantum realm to some degree that we
Also,
haven't seen yet. So
also Loki season 2 is shooting, and it looks like there's a scene where he has dinner with a young Queen Elizabeth in front of a movie poster that has whatever fucking Camille Nanjiani's Eternal on it.
Oh, whoa, that's cool. That's a cool nod. That's the thing that they really need to do with the Eternals characters is they need to start plugging them into like
they've
other
been here.
Exactly, and that'll make
whatever his name, Kinko or something like that.
Yeah, dude, and like he was a standout character to fans. You know what I mean? And people genuinely want to see like more inclusion from that cast. I think
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think the issue with Eternals was any of the actors.
No, I think I think we've talked about it. That movie had bigger issues than the casting for sure. But that's always so much stuff going on in the MCU.
Dude, yeah. And so we gotta keep rolling here. I mean, we got some quicker stuff for the end. Ezra Miller is officially out.
Yeah, dude. So that's like we were talking about that. The only DC news we could think of to talk about is Ezra Miller. Would you say
he's apparently held up a farm with a bunch of miners and a bunch of guns. So new Charles Manson. Good to see.
Exactly, dude. He sounds like the fucking dude from Waco. Like we're just waiting to burn that shit down, man. Ezra Miller, just what a fuck. And the thing is, like, you just continue to hear more and more things, like, because like obviously now that the cat's out of the bag, people that have been victimized by this individual are like coming out of the woodwork more and more and being like, no, dude, like this dude like tried to assault me. This dude, stalked me in fucking Germany or whatever, like, all sorts of shit. But what's interesting, and this is kind of coming off of that idea of Krasinski kind of fan casting his way into the role of Reed Richards. People have been trying to figure out like how to replace Ezra Miller. I know you have an opinion on somebody you have in mind.
Yeah, Dylan O'Brien, man.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before, which like I don't know.
Who this is?
I mean, I think I remember looking it up last time we recorded, but
it's the Bill man. He looks like somebody that they could very easily just be like, yeah, he never changed. There's that bit at the end of 22 Jump Street where where Seth Rogen replaces Jonah Hill for one. They're like, I'm not different. Yeah. I'm not different at all.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this cat like playing the Bill. Like,
he's also
he's a beanpole white. He's
also a lot more charismatic of a actor than Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
so I find him more likable in almost everything he's in.
That being said, like just about anybody's more charismatic than Ezra Miller in a fucking role. Like that dude's been bland. That dude was typecast as like the nerdy, quiet. Like I think like nerdy, the character
nerdy sad boy.
Yeah, and that's like all that cat's been able to present, and it's over. I'm done with it. But
who do you think should replace him?
Well,
or should they just kill him and make Wally West the new Flash?
I mean, I would really I would love to see a Wally West Flash. Just because like, I think for myself, just being nostalgic, like Barry Allen was obviously like, the predecessor, but I think, like growing up reading like the JLA comics that I read, like Wally West was the Flash, and so that I just think that'd be really cool. But I also, I mean, I saw that there's this like fan petition or whatever going around the internet that's fan casting Elliot Page as the new Flash.
Fuck it, why not? Anything's better than Ezra Miller, man.
Well, I mean, same generic style look. It's like, like skinny white dude, like,
pull it off.
And so like, but I was like, that would be a really like, I think it'd be a really like not like a gutsy move, but I think it'd be like it'd be a bold move. Yeah, because that would be making like such a good statement, I think, in terms of like the company, but I think
which is what DC needs.
Well, exactly. They need good faith, but that's the problem, is that I think it would be such an obvious move that people would also backlash against that, whether they think Elliot Page is like a good actor or not,
Yeah. Here's my thing, and this is what I thought about the other day. Who greenlit Ezra Miller in the first place for this?
Dude, that's what I keep fucking wondering, man. Like legitimately, like I never liked him as the Flash. I was just like, who the fuck
I think
is this
everyone
kid?
saw him,
like,
and they were like, this guy.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know where this idea that Barry Allen is this like I don't know, almost like Peter Parker knockoff, you know?
It comes from Flashpoint, but
yeah, but the thing is,
Flashpoint
like,
was so successful, and they're like, he is sad, and like, no,
well,
but he's
well, no,
not.
no,
Like,
no. I mean, I guess I mean more in line of you know, this like almost teenage, like, you know, borderline teenage to young 20-year-old adult trying to figure out where, you know, where he's at in life. He's got a cool hidden lair where he fucking hangs out and listens to like punk music and plays video games. It's like, no, dude, the Barry Allen is a fucking like crime scene investigator who is like ridiculously good at his job and one of the best detectives in the fucking world. And and instead we're like entertaining this idea that he's just like, you know, like I said, this like almost Peter Parker knockoff where it's like every other thing involves like a love interest or like, oh God, I need to find a parental figure to love me. Like, and it's not what I want from a fucking Flash. Like, honestly,
that flex my Tony Stark.
Like legitimately, like that's what they tried to build up in that Justice League movie, man. It was funny, so fucking pathetic. It was like, we see where you're going with this, and we don't like it.
Yeah, dude, it was bad from the get-go.
I don't know. I'm just still intrigued as hell as to what they're doing with that movie. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Black Adam, dude. Oh my God.
Quick couple things on Avatar 2. We have two different things here. I heard James Cameron in the interview where he said people are already hating on the movie. They'll watch it and they'll shut the fuck up. You know, my thoughts aside on whether or not they should have made an Avatar sequel, I respect that answer. I respect that he's sticking to his guns.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, like, to think about it is, again, my, you know, kind of like with you there, my opinions on whether or not an Avatar 2 needs to exist aside, like, James Cameron has been a phenomenal fucking filmmaker.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, you know, I feel like we wouldn't have directors like Christopher Nolan if we didn't have directors like James Cameron. You know what I mean?
My dishwasher's beeping.
Oh, you're good.
Hear it one more time. Oh, continue.
It's all good. But like I you know, like he's such a visionary director that it's like, I don't know, like somebody complaining about something like, you know, oh, what's James Cameron think he's doing? Like I don't think, I'm not a fan of the Avatar movies as expressed on this podcast. I'm not like into them, I guess. I'm
at best blissfully indifferent personally.
But like, it's something to be said that like James Cameron is making this movie. You know what I mean? Like, because of the fucking prolific nature of his career. And you know, I mean, we're talking about an individual who, of course, he doesn't have to give a fuck. He's like a Martin Scorsese level director where it's like, you don't, like, your peon opinions don't fucking touch him. He's gonna get the money to do the movie he wants. Like,
obviously, there's a reason he wanted to make this, so it's gonna be made. Somebody's gonna fund it.
But so I really I appreciate that he's just sort of like, fuck off, like, you know. But
get off my ass.
Similarly, he made a comment where, you know, he was like, I know that there's going to be backlash from certain people about the length of this movie, but his comment,
just under 3 hours, I believe, and he said
it. You know, this is like, you know, a paraphrase, but it was like, you know, something to the effect of like, he said like, I've watched my kids binge watch 5 hours of television in a row. Like, I don't fucking care about like somebody complaining about a 3-hour movie. It's okay to get up and piss during a movie, you know, like, you know,
here's my mind. Have the studios put a bit of downtime in the middle, actually give us an intermission. If we're gonna do long movies,
bring intermissions back. I never minded it. There's only a couple movies that I've ever seen in a movie theater that have had an intermission.
Hateful Eight was literally the only one I've ever seen
that had an intermission.
Had an intermission.
Oh, perfect.
3 hour, 15-minute long movie. 15 minutes of that was an intermission that was built into the film.
See, like
It
totally fine.
it wasn't like Tarantino was like, get the theaters to do an intermission. Literally 15 minutes of dead time. Like, the film will be back in just a minute.
Yeah, I mean, they did that with the Grindhouse movie double feature that they put together years before that too.
Dude, Tarantino, man.
Yeah, I think that's a smart idea. I'd bring back the intermission.
If you're gonna
I'm
push
for
a
that.
movie, I think if you're gonna push a movie over 2:45, give us an intermission.
Yeah.
Give us 10 minutes, just so I can take a piss.
I wonder how James Cameron feels about that though, because like I said, like clearly he doesn't give a shit if people like if people miss bit parts of his movie, you know what I mean? Like so it's sort of like interesting in that way where it's like I wonder how directors or like people producing these movies feel about intermissions in general.
I think if they have an issue, they need to get off their high horse.
Well, like do you think it'd catch people off guard in a bad way, like if they didn't know that there was an intermission and they were just like all of a sudden the movie like kind of stops and then the lights go back to dim?
If it's a natural stopping point, you know,
yeah.
Like he referenced like his kids would watch 5 hours of television. Every hour or so, you can take a break. You know, go grab a snack, go to the restroom, go grab a glass of water. You know, if you get to the end of the first act of the film or like halfway through the second where there's no action necessarily happening, the characters are maybe settled in for just a moment, be like, get some like music playing, exactly, like we'll be back folks, you know, like that's
bring back that concession stand music, you know.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
I mean, I can appreciate James Cameron as like a filmmaker, and I think his attitude towards like his projects is a well-earned attitude, you know, where it's like, I'm like, I don't know, people are gonna eat up what he makes, so just like fuck off with it and just like deal with like what he presents you. You know what I mean? It's like a chef presenting a fucking meal. You know, it's like you're not gonna tell that chef like to fuck off with that dish. Like you're gonna be like grateful for whatever they put in front of you. Like,
is this a segue?
Oh God, I didn't even think about that, dude. I'm doing this on like complete fucking accident.
Look at this guy.
No, that's kind of a good point. Like, just a couple other like random quick takes, you know, on some things.
Dude, that was so smooth. I thought you were bringing us into like the what we've been watching segment.
Yeah, no, like that's I didn't even like think about that. Like, so you know, I just, you know, a couple of random bits as we kind of get towards the end of this, like, you know, things that we've been watching. I've been catching without the internet. I've been kind of out of it a bit, but I've been checking out this really, really cool FX show called The Bear. It stars one of the cast members from Shameless and a whole bunch of other really fucking cool people that I don't know, but I just think they're really good in their roles. And you know, it centers around like this Chicago, I don't know, restaurant where it's, you know, it's not a great restaurant, but it's a really cool story that they're starting to tell, and they do a really great job of showing some kitchen action. And like, I don't know, I just been roped right into it because like I think about working in kitchens all the time. I miss working in kitchens in a lot of ways. It's just such fucking hard work that you have to like really sacrifice romance to
it, but there's also a grit to it.
Yeah. And you can, you know, anyway, so it's a really cool show. I haven't finished the whole season yet, but it is all up on Hulu right now. It's like an 8-episode season or something. So I definitely recommend people check it out, just because it's I don't know, you get some really cool like character performances, I think. So
and then I've been watching Only Murders in the Building season 2 just dropped.
I haven't started it yet. That's another one I want to watch with Nadine.
Damn,
season 1 was so good. Season 2's off to a good start.
Off to a really good start, man. It didn't miss a beat, man. That perfect, and then man. I'm looking forward to it. What We Do in the Shadows comes back this week.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta start catching up on that. I just started watching Wellington Paranormal season 3.
When I was going through my Taika Waititi kick earlier this summer or earlier in the spring with the Our Flag Means Death, and I was watching What We Do in the Shadows for the first time. I watched the movie What We Do in the Shadows, and You were like, check out Wellington Paranormal. Dude, I got like 3 episodes in. I can't watch that shit.
Oh man, I love that shit, dude.
It's too awkward.
No, that's what's so brilliant about it. It's
I
like
can't do it. It's like I completely understand. I think it's funny sometimes, but I think I can't. I'm gonna try and watch it.
like okay,
I'll try again, but I can't watch like more than like an episode a week. It feels like
I
it's
feel
just
like
so awkward.
and I say this with absolutely no authority, but I feel like like some of the other properties, like What We Do in the Shadows, it touches on some of that like New Zealand humor that you get. But
Yeah.
Wellington Paranormal is full on like New Zealand humor and or so it seems. And so, you know, like I think it's just fucking great. Like, but yeah, it's I don't know, like it's so campy at times and it's so cheesy at times, and like the characters are so dumb at times that you're just like, like how do these people exist? You know, so it's just I don't know. It's but like all those kind of properties that you just mentioned and like Wellington, like they're just fun, dumb, like you know, at times dumb shows. You know.
Like Thor: Love and Thunder. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi,
Taika Waititi. Dude, speaking of real quick, what Taika Waititi apparently like, and this is happening way too much if you ask me these days. Like the Thor: Love and Thunder just came out. And there's like some assholes online, hashtag give us the Taika Waititi cut, you know, like
he responded to it.
Yeah, I saw that. What was his response though?
His response was, "This shit's out of control."
Yeah, exactly.
like there needs to be limitations.
Yeah, like
you know what? One of my critiques would have been of Love and Thunder.
What
is that? It feels like it was too Taika Waititi. It feels like they didn't limit him enough.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I feel like it dives a bit too much into his style of humor, and it makes it less accessible to a wider audience. So seeing people be like, "That's what will fix the movie," I'm like, nah.
I don't think more of that will fix it.
I don't think so, guys.
That's
I think
funny.
if what you think was cut was like the traditional Marvel shit, you're gonna be blown away when you watch like Hunt for the Wilderpeople and the original What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. No, for sure. Those both have definitely different styles of humor and like cadence to the entire fucking movie. And
hey, Hunt for the Wilderpeople. I watched that.
It's a really good movie.
It's honestly, dude, it's in my top 10 favorite movies.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely adore that movie.
It's definitely like it'll be. I think it didn't get enough recognition.
It didn't,
you know, but I think it will be one of those that builds a cult following in the end, you know.
Well, what's funny is that when Our Flag Means Death blew up, people realized like, oh, Taika Waititi's done other shit, but then like the Thor movies and this.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh my God, like Jojo Rabbit had like a moment in the spotlight again. And then people found Hunt for the Wilderpeople, and it made me so happy. Because people were like, this is great. I never knew this existed. It's like, yeah, it's a tiny indie movie from New Zealand.
Yeah, man.
Like the biggest thing it has is that Sam Neill's in it. And even that hasn't been a selling point. It's like Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was like cool to see Sam Neill in that, but yeah, that, you know, speaking of Jurassic Park real quick, I've heard that new movie is fucking garbage, but it made a bunch of fucking money, which is unfortunate because that just like will motivate. More, so yeah, I was gonna say that'll just motivate them to fucking churn out more. God damn it. But yeah, anyway, you got any other like random things? I got like one more random show I've been checking out. I wanted to mention
that's all I got.
Tokyo Vice. Tokyo Vice is on HBO. It's this really fucking cool kind of dark show that takes place obviously in Tokyo, and if you're following like an American journalist who becomes like the first American journalist at the like Tokyo newspaper, and it's like really interesting because there's just like so much commentary on like the connection between the city itself, like the police, how they handle like these deep rooted Yakuza gangster, like, you know, families and everything. And it's and this is something I didn't fully realize until I like started really diving into the show. It is like actually based around like the memoirs of that American journalist. So it kind of gives you, so it gives you this little like, you know, it kind of feels, you know, based on the true story-esque, you know, and so it's an interesting world that they've, you know, built in this show, and it takes place in the 90s. So you don't see people too often on cell phones or anything. Yeah, it's kind of so it kind of like dates itself a bit, which is cool.
I do want to give a brief update on Matinee Edition in general.
Yeah.
So Matinee Edition is evolving a bit. We did a couple of amateurs notes with me and Kate, but considering we have a lot more people coming on, considering Jared's in a new spot at work, you're gonna be busting your ass. Congratulations, send good vibes to this man.
Yeah, appreciate it. We'll need it.
So we're going to transition to doing episode with me and Jared once a week, and then if the schedule holds true, we're going to do an episode with me and Kate and just call it Matinee Edition because we were sort of covering the same bases anyway. Yeah. Amateurs Notes going away. We're just going to be Matinee Edition. I think hosted by Lucas. So
yeah, exactly. You'll be more of the El Capitan of the Matinee Edition ship, I'd say. But it'll be
Jared sails the coffee and contemplation ship. I'll be over here on Matinee Edition.
Hey man, our flag means death. Okay. But no, and it'll be really cool because one, it's been really great. Like Kate has some really fantastic ideas and like thoughts on some of these projects that you guys have talked about on Amateurs Note. But it'll be like we've decided on. I think you guys can go into depth a little bit more on some of these projects, particularly because you guys are also like checking out things that I'm not sometimes, and so it's it's cool to be able to sync up on that.
So me and Jared will probably be focusing a lot on the news. We'll be talking a bit more on like the quicker stuff, the meat, what's coming. Kate and I think this first episode, just so people can get a taste, we're gonna do probably Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel's gonna wrap up by the time we record. Nice. We're gonna do Stranger Things, deep dive into spoiler territory, and then do Thor: Love and Thunder. So
perfect.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And then that'll be the first episode. Less news centric. We're gonna be more doing reviews on that one. So
hell yeah,
it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. There's also a couple other random we'll just finish the old heart business, I suppose. The corn dogs, you got to be ready for it. Okay. Mold Brain Radio, a proud subsidiary of Old Heart Radio, is coming at you soon. It's starring three boys from the Challenging the Play is the initial show coming out of that group, and that is a direct jab right at the under further review council. It's a show that's going to be featuring album reviews. So the three hosts will sit down and thoroughly discuss their thoughts on a particular album. The first episode, I believe, is about a Whitechapel album that recently came out. And it's definitely I would say it's ramped up to 11. It's pretty fucking crazy, and I goddamn love it. And
so that's gonna be alternating weekly with Under Further Review as well.
Yeah, exactly. The idea will be to kind of balance out some of that with the interests of everything going on in Old Heart, and that, on top of that, we got the Whack Arnold's brothers are back on track. We got an episode coming up. We're going to be recording it tomorrow on this 1980 movie called Alligator. It's literally about an alligator that gets flushed down the sewer and then terrorizes people. And then, we've been slowly deep diving into the 90s horror movies on that podcast. So that's cool. I'm going to keep doing the video updates for Coffee and Contemplation. So keep checking the social media about that.
Yeah. Where can they find us at?
Oh, you can find us at Old Heart Radio on Instagram, YouTube. You can look us up on Spotify or iTunes.
Recommend us to a friend.
Yeah. Somebody that likes superheroes, you should fucking recommend listening to at least one of our podcasts, because I guarantee you superheroes are mentioned on almost every fucking episode of one of our pods, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's so great. But I'm just grateful to get this back rolling. We got the internet going. Shout outs to our mullet man Jay once more.
Mullet man Jay.
Holding it down. And I'm just hopefully the rest of the summer we can just keep churning them out, because it's just it's fun with friends on Old Heart Radio. That's really what it is. So,
fun every day.
Fun in the sun, because it's summer. Hey,
hot dogs out for the summer.
I've got to say it. I'm gonna say it right now. If you're a hot dog, just following us on social media. Dip yourself into that cornmeal batter and turn yourself into a fine old Heart Radio corn dog. Listen to the podcast.
I can't fight it anymore, man.
I'm telling you, if like once things settle down and we can get our eyes on some merch, I guarantee you some corn dogs are coming out. So, all right, we'll wrap it up there.
Nothing like mailing people perishable items. Great way to get sued.
Send people. It was frozen when we sent it. Okay.
Hot dogs. It's a privilege as always.
Absolutely. Keep listening. We'll keep making them.
We'll be around.
Yeah. We'll be whispering in your ear. Don't worry.
Every once in a while.